Hey, what's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here, back with a new movie. The name of this movie is What If Naruto Maxed Out Physical Strength, and it's an unscripted movie as well. Now before continuing this, I would like to thank you guys first of all for leaving such nice comments. And yeah guys, I've been working on your suggestions. It's been that for the whole week I've been going in and out of fever and wasn't feeling well. I am feeling much better, but not to my complete recovery yet. I just hope I get well soon so that I can post all your suggested ideas. And other than that, you should all be safe and healthy, I hope. And if you haven't, then please do leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. And without further ado, let's begin with our story. It begins 5 years after QB attack in Konohagakure no Sato, as we see 5-year-old Naruto Uzumaki sitting in park alone with a down expression on his face as he was looking towards his feet which dragged on the ground while he was sitting on a swing. He was an orphan, he had nobody, and he was usually ignored by the people. Nobody glared at him, but he was usually ignored like other orphans. He didn't have any orphan friends as well, at his age at least. As he was sitting there, he thought to himself, why was he weak and why didn't his Gigi come to meet him for 2 whole years now? Did he make him upset or something? He couldn't remember. The man he was referring to was the third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who hasn't visited him for the past 2 years. He still lived in the orphanage though. As this was going on, he saw another pair of feet standing in front of him. They wore black shinobi sandals and leg warmers, and green spandex suit. Why the long face, kid? Said a giddy voice as Naruto looked up to find a man with black bob haircut and unusually grown eyebrows. Who are you? Huh, my name is the Green Beast of Konoha. I am the most useful Jonin here. My name is Maito Guy. What is yours, little friend? My name is Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. As Guy then said, why the long face then? You should be enjoying the flames of youth at your age and playing with your friends. I don't have any friends, Naruto said, cutting him off. Guy for the moment paused and looked shocked. Getting out of his stupor, he got giddy again. Well, no worries. How about you become my friend and I become your friend, and I can help you train and become a shinobi as well. A shinobi? Yes, little one. Naruto, I'm not that little. Oh yes, Naruto. You see, shinobis have a duty to protect their village and earn respect for everyone. They can become their own legends like the Shodai Hokage, our Kage Sarutobi Hiruzen, the third Hokage and the second Hokage, and the late fourth Hokage as well, and many other shinobis who've fallen in the line of duty in order to protect their village and civilians. Can I really become that strong? Anyone can become that strong if he has the will of fire and the will of youth. As Naruto's eyes sparkled for the first time, as Naruto jumped out of his swing. Can you train me? As Guy gave him his trademark smirk and grin. Obviously I can. But I have an appointment to make with another kid. How about you come with me and maybe you two can be friends. Really? Awesome. Thanks, Sensei. As Guy smiled and took Naruto with him. As this was going on, a shinobi with an Inu mask was watching this. As he sighed sadly, as he put one hand on his mask and detached it from his face. I'm so sorry, Sensei. I didn't even have the will to go and greet him today. He looked so down. And even Guy was the one who took the initiative, not me, your student. As he sunshined away with a sad expression on his face. As time skipped, 2 hours later, we see ourselves in orphanage with Guy and Naruto, as a kid was standing in front of them that has similar eyebrows to that of Maito Guy. Naruto meet Lee. Lee meet Naruto. You two are going to be friends and my students. As Lee looked towards Naruto in a shy expression. Hello, my name is Rock Lee. My name is Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. Nice to meet you, Lee. Would you like to be my friend? Really? Aren't you weirded out by my eyebrows? Everyone makes fun of that. No, I think they kinda suit you. They might be a little bit bushy, but they kinda suit you. Really? You really think so? Yeah, why wouldn't I? Let's be friends, Lee, Naruto said with his trademark grin. As Guy was happy about that. Time skip. 5 years later. That fateful day, many events changed. 5 years of rigorous training and hard training turned Naruto into a complete monster, and so did Lee. Lee was at least a Genin level shinobi by now, with a little bit of chakra, while on the other hand, Naruto had at least Kage level worth of chakra, and not only that, he had become Jonin level strong already. Naruto knew he had this much strength in him, as for 5 years being apprentice under Guy, they were going to academy for the first time. As they entered the class, it was the class of Uruka Umino, but it was only Naruto that entered there. Lee was placed 1 year above his grade. He was saddened by that, but it was meant to be because Lee was 1 year older than him. As Naruto entered, hello, are you Iruka sensei? Yes, my name is Iruka. What's yours? I'm Naruto. I'm sent here by Kage-sama to give you this. As Naruto gave him a little slip in his hand, and Iruka understood. Ah, you're the new student. Come inside. As Naruto went inside, he was wearing his usual jumpsuit that his Gigi finally gave him. Naruto met his grandfather figure after 2 years. More, when he was at the age of 7. Naruto didn't want to talk to him and wanted to go away, but he was inside and apologized for not being there for him for the past 4 years. But he promised that he kept an eye on him. He was busy, that is why he couldn't visit him. Not even on his birthday, and whenever he had a time to visit him, he was already asleep, so he just left without bothering him. Naruto sighed and realized that if his Gigi was saying that with that expression that shows sorrow, then he was telling the truth. Naruto agreed to that. And Hiruzen was surprised when he found out that Maito Guy has taken Naruto under his wing. And he prayed to Kami for only one thing, because he knew Naruto was going to be strong. That Naruto didn't take after Guy and his flames of youth bullshit, and that great spandex that was horrendous. Or Minato and Kushina will kill him, indeed. As end of the flashback, we go there as Naruto introduced himself to his class fellows. As Kiba stood up, hey, how come he gets a chance to sit with us when he wasn't here from the beginning of the whole class year? Kiba, this is not a way to speak to your new classmate. It is the order of Hokage-sama. If you have any other question or any objection, take it with him, okay? As Kiba finally stood silent and sat down, as Sasuke was eyeing Naruto, more like glaring at him, trying to measure his power level. As Naruto, for being who he was quite humbled out thanks to Guy and his Gigi's teachings. As Naruto thanked his sensei and sat down near a window seat that was empty. Unknown to him, a girl was looking at him while blushing. She was Hinata Hyuga from Hyuga clan. It was the same girl that he saved when he was at the age of 3 in a snowy night from 3 bullies. As the girl was blushing, I finally met you, Naruto-kun. After so many years, I still couldn't forget you. As she blushed more, redder. On the other side, Naruto was sitting there, enjoying the class. The sensei usually asked questions from him as well about the Hokages and the past of Konoha. Thanks to his teacher being Gigi, Naruto knew most of it and answered it, and quickly became the new prize student in Iruka's eyes as well, alongside Sasuke and Sakura, which they both didn't like. And time went by as 1 year has been passed. The top of the class was Sasuke Uchiha still, and the second one was Naruto Uzumaki. The third one in Konoichi, first one was Sakura Haruno, and the second one was Hinata Hyuga. Sakura was quite jealous of Naruto because he arrived 1 year ago and took her position, which was second, just after her Sasuke-kun, just like she wanted. And Sasuke was quite pissed that Naruto was catching up to him, and no matter how much harder he tried to beat him in taijutsu, Naruto was always stronger and had the upper hand. He was waiting for his Sharingan to unlock so he could copy Naruto's movements. And Hinata, seeing how Naruto was working hard, gained the willpower to work hard as her father was spying on her through the same orb that the third Hokage had. He was the Hyuga clan head, so he could buy one. So, no question asked. As time went by swiftly, as it was already time for the graduation year, Naruto was strong in physical aspect, but chakra-wise he was stronger than most of them. And the only downside to that was it was hard to control his chakra pools that were so huge to that of a seasoned Jonin or Kage, as he had a difficult time doing little jutsus, so he couldn't make a bunshin. And whenever he made one, it was always limp and dead. Iruka was quite worried about Naruto, but Mizuki finally saw an opportunity. And once Naruto was failed and was quite sad that he couldn't pass with his friends, which he made during that 3 or 4 years of time span, which was Hinata Hyuga, Kiba and Izuka. At first they were rash at each other, but they slowly grew closer to each other and became good friends after they fought in a taijutsu battle and trained regularly. Other than that, Choji, Akamichi, and Shino Aburame, the silent kid, and a lazy one, Shikamaru Nara. These were the group of boys that were close friends, or you can say best friends, at the time. And Iruka for the first time was happy that Naruto and others have gained bonds, because after Naruto arrived, Iruka has gone to meet the third Hokage to report Naruto's first day, and that day Iruka heard something that was quite sad, and from that day he wanted to help Naruto. He saw the kid as his little brother. Naruto was always polite and respectful towards his elders and the higher authority figures. Thanks to Hiruzen once again, and Guy, surprisingly. And we see now Iruka looking at Naruto in the same playground area, sitting on the swing with sad expression. I have to go ask Kage-sama to give Naruto some kind of upper hand here, because he has so much huge chakra reserves he can make a normal bunshin. Maybe some chakra type of bunshin. Elemental style bunshin. Yeah, that might help. I might have to ask Kage-sama for that. As he went away from there to ask Kage-sama to help Naruto, while Naruto was sitting there with sudden expression, as he heard a voice of his sensei. Ah, Naruto. I have a news for you. A good news, actually. It was Mizuki. What is it, Mizuki-sensei? I have acquired a test from Hokage-sama for you. You have to go to his office and steal the scroll of sealing and meet me at this point in the village forest. If you can do that while being undetected, you can pass this test and heck became a Genin. Really? Yes. You'll be promoted to a Genin. Wow, I'll take it. I'll take the test, Sensei. Good. When does the test start, Sensei? Right now, if you want to. Then I'll be off, Sensei, Naruto said, waving at his sensei while he left away. Mizuki smirked as he was standing under the tree on an empty swing. Easy, he said as he vanished in a plump of smoke. As Naruto was dashing towards the Kage office, he stopped for a moment, realizing something. Isn't it like stealing? I have to go ask Digi first. He might know about this. Naruto, for the record, shared everything with his family figures that he had gained over the years. Hiruzen Sarutobi, Guy, and Iruka. And now he wanted to go and ask his grandfather figure if this was true, because if it wasn't, then he was going to commit a huge crime. As Naruto dashed towards Hokage's office, there was a huge knock there, as he heard Iruka please from the Hokage, as the Hokage sighed. As Naruto entered, Gigi, Sensei, what are you doing here? Ah, Naruto. My boy, I'm sorry that you failed. Ah, it's nothing. Actually, I wanted to ask you a question. What is it, Naruto? As Naruto began to explain what Mizuki told him, both of the Sensei and Kage's eyes widened. Mizuki is the traitor. Naruto, I'm giving you a mission. If you pass this, you will become a Genin. What is it, Gigi? Naruto, You will have Iruka escort you there. And if what you're saying is true, then apprehend Mizuki because he is a traitor. Miz- Iruka, hanji yourself into the scroll. Naruto will carry you there. Hi, Hokage-sama. As after the two of them were gone, as planned, Hiruzen summoned a squad of Anbus. It was Kakashi's squad. Team Ro, come down. As Kakashi came down, and so did his teammates, Tenzo, Yugao, Ayuga, and another shinobi. As Kakashi then said, "We heard Hokage-sama. I will not leave him alive. We need him alive, Kakashi. I can get information out of him by torturing him, then eradicate him. Kakashi, I know you feel jealous because Guy took the opportunity that you wanted and has drawn Naruto towards him, and he will most likely be a student of Guy himself." As Kakashi gritted his teeth, I know, Hokage-sama. But you must realize, Kakashi, this is a mission that I am sending you on. This is not a revenge or protection duty or a promise that you did or make with Kushina or Minato. As Kakashi flinched visibly. Hi, Hokage-sama. I will retrieve him. Alive. Barely though. He's said the last words in his thought, as with that said, the Team Ro vanished in a clump of smoke in the shadows. As Hiruzen turned around his chair and stood up, looking towards his village through the windows. It is almost time they return. It might break the boy. Hiruzen said as a tear fell from his eye. He was sad. Sad that he had to lie to such nice kid who was honest and did try his best to please him and live up to his expectations. Not that he had any placed on him. He wanted the kid to grow at his own pace. How could he tell him that his parents had left him behind here, making him think that he was alone, an orphan, for all the years that he had lived his life here? Ignored, like any other orphan, fend to himself, and have to endure loneliness. For the 2 years that he had vanished, he was in contact with them. He didn't have the willpower to meet Naruto because he found out during those 2 years that he vanished that they were alive. They were at the Uzushio Gakure with Naruto's sister, who they planned to make Naruto marry to purify their bloodline. An incest relationship. It was common in the clans, he knew about that, but how could they leave him behind? When he asked for a reason, he got a reply. Not from them, from Jiraiya. He was enraged by this. It was because of a prophecy given to them by the Toads. Mito will be the savior of the land of fire, and Konoha, when a great catastrophe will struck them. He said, not explaining the whole prophecy, even when demanded by him. He said it was confidential between the Toad Summon clan and him, and Hiruzen had to back down. But he was enraged nonetheless, and for the next year to come, he didn't have the willpower to go and meet Naruto. How could he tell him? A kid that looked up to him with such hope in the eyes, saw him as a grandfather figure. Heck, even as a real grandfather, all but in blood. How could he tell him and broke him to the point that he might not want to live anymore? And now he couldn't tell him. He didn't have the guts, so he waited. He told them that he had no part in this. He will act that they are strangers. And he will act like he found out, as did Naruto. And they agreed. They thought that Naruto will be happy to find out his family was there and didn't quite realize what Hiruzen was trying to say or comprehend. They thought it was quite cowardly of the professor of the shinobis and the god of shinobi as such. But Hiruzen knew the consequences and feared them. He feared Naruto's hatred. He fears Naruto will to give up on living. Whenever he imagined Naruto's image as a broken kid, he shivered. Because for the past 13 years, his bond with Naruto was that of a grandfather and grandson, a real family. Naruto has proven again and again that he doesn't care that he was in the blood of Hiruzen, and to many of the precious people of him as well. He will lay down his life for them willingly. He will do anything for them, whether it be kill, turn evil, or even a villain, in order to save them. He will let the world burn, for all he cares. As these thoughts were racing through his mind, we go towards Naruto as he has reached the place while the Anbus were hiding their chakra, masking it completely while watching the whole thing unfold. As Naruto was standing there with a scroll of sealing quote unquote on his back. Where is Mizuki sensei? As a shuriken was launched at Naruto, as Naruto's shoulder was stabbed by it as it stabbed him to the back of the tree that was behind him. As Naruto hissed out in pain, Kakashi wanted to move, slash down the traitor, but he waited, as Yugao holded him there. As much as she wanted to go down and butcher the said man in half as well. As Mizuki came down. Well. You really are that stupid, aren't you, Naruto? For one, being a smart student, only second to the Uchiha in the whole academy. You really are dumb. What is going on, Mizuki-sensei? Naruto acted out. I knew what you did, Naruto. You told Hokage-sama. Isn't that right, Iruka? As Naruto's eyes widened. As Iruka was there as the scroll on Naruto's back moved away. As he gritted his teeth, taking out two shurikens from behind his pouch. Why? Why, Mizuki? Why are you turning traitor? I was never a shinobi of this village, not for the past 13 years. I have been Orochimaru's loyal subject. The shinobis that were all there shook in their places as they flinched visibly after hearing that name. You were working for that traitor? He promised me eternal power once I get the scroll. And it seems that I have to go elsewhere because of this little prick. I lost that opportunity. You had to act smart. I have to give you that. You really acted smart, but you were foolish to come here all by yourself. As this will be the last time you will be here or ever leave here alive. As Mizuki dashed towards him, but before he could reach, his head was rolling on the ground. As electric sparks could be heard, it was Kakashi who was standing there, his one red eye glowing behind his mask, while the other black hue was cold. As Yugao jumped down. Taicho, it was against our orders. He was getting on my nerves. Back up his body. We have a Yamanaka retrieve all his memories from his mindscape. Now go. As Tenzo did as he was told and left with Yugao, as he moved towards Naruto, as he saw Iruka tending to him. His face stopped again. He couldn't get close to him. Are you okay? He asked in a professional voice. Yes, thanks, Anbu-san. Good. With a nod, he vanished as well. He berated himself in the mind. He still hadn't the willpower to go and greet him and meet him personally face to face. Even if God was giving him opportunities, he couldn't. He was a coward, hiding behind a mask, literally. As after Kakashi left, Iruka took Naruto to the hospital to get his wounds treated. And after being bandaged up, he was sitting there when Anbu came down. Hokage-sama has summoned you to the council chambers, Naruto Uzumaki. I will be there. As Naruto jumped down as he hissed in pain. Take it easy, kid. I'll take you there, said the Anbu. It was Yugao Uzuki. As she put a hand on Naruto's shoulder as both of them sunshined there, as Naruto, the next moment he blinked his eye, was standing in the center of the council chambers. As three elders and the clan heads were on one side, while the civilian council was on the other side. As one of the civilian, which was Mabuki Haruno, that he remembered he helped a lot and was the mother of Sakura, Haruno, his classmate, stood up. Naruto Uzumaki, you did our village a great job by putting your life on line and saving the biggest secrets of our village. For that we want to reward you. What is it that you wish? I want nothing. Thank you very much, Haruno-san. I was just doing my duty. Isn't that right, Gigi? You will address him as Hokage-sama, Naruto, said Hamura, who was sitting there, in polite tone. Sorry, Elder-sama. I was out of line, Naruto said, as Hiruzen chuckled. It's alright, Hamura. He's my grandson. Isn't that right, Naruto? As Naruto looked up at him and beamed with a smile. As everyone had to hide a chuckle, as Tsunami stood up. You had to give it to the pup. He was quite brave. Heck, even Kiba would have pissed his pants there. As Naruto chuckled, as everyone had to chuckle at that. Naruto Uzumaki, Hiruzen said, getting serious. I have summoned you here to give you two news. One, you have been promoted to Genin. As everyone agreed, as everyone nodded, Naruto was happy about that. Two, there are some people here to meet you. The temperature in the room dropped significantly because the shinobis, mainly the clan heads, were enraged, and elders were disappointed, and Hiruzen was straight out cold. You can come inside now. The door behind Naruto opened as four figures walked in. Three of them were adults, and one was seemingly his age. As when the light illuminating the whole room fell upon them, he realized them, as he gasped, Okage-sama and Jiraiya-sama, as both of them smiled at him softly. He's polite in his manners. I give you that, Sensei. You raised him well, said Jiraiya. Hello, Naruto. My name is Minato Namikaze. This is my wife, Kushina Uzumaki. You're the red dad that I heard about from the bingo book. You are awesome. I really like your stories, ma'am. As Kushina chuckled. Really? Yes, and your hair is really pretty. You're the third person that said to me that, other than my daughter and my husband. As Naruto chuckled while rubbing a hand behind his back head. As then he met Mito. Hello, my name is Mito, big brother. Naruto paused. The bulb was dropped. I'm sorry, what? Big brother. You're my big brother. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Naruto's mind shut down as he looked towards his Gigi with shocked wide eyes, as if they were demanding that it was a joke, right? Right? As then he looked towards the council members. They all looked down except Danzo. The civilians were happy that a family was reunited. As Naruto realized that he had a family that day, he looked up at Minato. He wanted to ask a question. No, many questions actually. But he asked the most important one. Why did you leave me here then? His voice almost cracked several times saying these words. Minato sighed and said, with heavy tone, It has to be done, Naruto. We were ordered by the Toads to train Mito, because she is the child of prophecy that will save Konoha and the Land of Fire from the great catastrophe that will soon come. What catastrophe? You will know later on, Gaki, once you become the Toad Summoner, said Jiraiya. Naruto didn't say anything. Is that right? Naruto looked towards the woman, as his eyes showed that he was on the brink of crying, shedding tears as Kushina's heart ached. Yes. As Naruto looked back at his Gigi. Please tell me, is this a joke, right? I get it. I did something wrong. I'm sorry, but please tell me this is a joke, right? Naruto said as tears started to fall down on his eyes. Hiruzen feared that this might happen. Naruto would break after finding this out. As when his Gigi didn't reply, he dashed out of there. As the civilian then said, Give him some time, Hokage-sama. He needs to adjust. to the changes that are surrounding him now. Nobody can take such a big information so suddenly. As the Hokage and his family nodded as civilian thankful, but when they looked towards their friends and comrades, all they got was cold glares. This meeting is adjourned. Here you go, Minato. Risen threw the hat at Minato as Minato got it. I'm done with this shit, he said as he left. As the clan head started to move out and so did civilians. As Kushina stopped Tozumi, wait, can we go? No. But I didn't even finish. No. Come on, Tozumi, you know it was important. No! You were a fucking Uzumaki. You betrayed your own clan's rules. Never leave a family member behind. And not only that, you broke our trust, Kushina. I will never forgive you. As she walked away, as a hand was on her shoulder, hugging her closely, it was Minato. Give her some time. They all need some time. What we did was not justifiable just by stating that it was because of a prophecy. When the prophecy will unfold, they will find out. And 2 to 3 days has been passed since then. As Naruto was still inside his apartment room, he hadn't come out. He didn't even go there to the class to see whose team he was assigned to. He wanted to be alone, to clear his thoughts. It was so surreal. He finally gained a family that all his life he wanted. But he didn't want to meet them anymore. He wanted to go away. He wanted to go away from Konoha to a faraway place where he could live peacefully, away from them. He was hurt. He cried 2 days straight. Didn't even get a brink of sleep. Didn't eat. Didn't drink anything. Just cried. Reminiscing why Kami played this cruel joke on him. For the most part in his 13th year of life, he was alone and wanted a family. And now when he had some precious people, he was happy. Kami finally gave him what he wished for when he was a kid. And he didn't want that. As then he heard a knock on the door. It was Guy's voice who came. Naruto, open up. It's me, Guy, with Lee. Yes, Naruto, open up, please. As Naruto finally gained his willpower to open the door, with a heavy sigh, he opened the door. His eyes showed that they were cold and without any emotion. What is it, Sensei? Hello, Lee. As both of them getting out of their shock after seeing Naruto like this, a kid who was full of life, so close to be broken, they went inside. As Lee put a hand on Naruto's shoulder. It's alright, Naruto. We're here for you. As Naruto cried again, telling them why. Why did this happen to him? Why did they left him behind? How could they do this to him? He was so lonely without them. He wished that his mother would embrace him at night whenever he was scared. His father was there with him when he saw the kids playing with their father and their father buying him many goodies and toys. He always invaded them. But now when he gained some precious people, his life was looking good ahead of him. All things were dropped on him like bombs, one after another. His sensei was a traitor. He was not an orphan. He had a family who willingly left him behind. What next? Pigs fly? No, obviously not. The last one was going to come true, but he was broken. As Hiruzen came to visit him as well, as Lee was the one who opened the door to let him in. Naruto, I'm sorry. You wanna know, for the 2 years when I didn't visit you, it was when I found out I didn't have the willpower to tell you. I know if you're mad at me, I will leave, but know this, that you really are my grandson, and I love you like one, and I will protect you. And this was for your protection. I didn't want this to happen. I didn't want to see you like this. But it thinks that an old man made a mistake again. Yet again. So if you hate me now, Naruto, I'm not going to ask for your forgiveness. But please, If you ever willingly have a heart to, please forgive this old man. But remember this, for what I did was to protect you. Because I knew this will happen to you if you find out at the time. As an Anbu came at his window, Hokage-sama has summoned you, Naruto Uzumaki. It was a parrot Anbu. As Naruto nodded, he got up on his knees and left without saying a word. As he was reaching the doorknob, he said, I forgive you all, Gigi. I never blamed any one of you. If it weren't for you, I think I would have lost the will to live much longer. I just can't forgive them for what they did. But he is my Kage, and as a civilian of Konoha, it is my duty. No, Naruto, you're a shinobi. It was my last order as the third Hokage. You are a Genin of Konoha Gakure no Sato, an active shinobi now. That is why you have been summoned there. Thanks, Gigi. Thanks, Sensei. Thanks, Lee. I just need some time, that's all, he said as he opened the door and left. After Naruto left, all of them sighed. He really has taken it that badly, huh? When you told me that he'd taken it badly, I wasn't sure. But his flames of youth has almost diminished. Don't, Sensei. I know Naruto-kun. He will overcome this. Like many other obstacles he has overcame during our training. As Guy smiled, he sure will, Lee. And on cue, the volcano sunset genjutsu. As Hiruzen left with the Sunshin, didn't want to see that. As we go towards Naruto, who reached the Hokage office, as he entered there to see his family there. Naruto, where were you for the past 3 days? Hokage-sama, I was in my apartment, clearing my thoughts. I see. Now you don't have to live there anymore. You're going to move in with us and live there. And we have to tell you another news. You are engaged, Naruto. Naruto's eyes widen. I'm sorry, what? You're engaged to your sister. Naruto's eyes widen again as Mito blushed, looking away. But it is normal in the clans to purify the bloodline, Naruto. You two are half Uzumakis and half Namikazes, so your children will have more proficient genes of both clans. That is why this marriage is placed. And plus, Mito likes you. As Naruto looked towards Mito, who was blushing, as he looked towards his Hokage, but what about me? Naruto, it is an order as your Kage and as your father. You will move back in our home compound, and not only that, you will be engaged to Mito. As Naruto looked down, there was a little bit of darkness that was glowing inside his heart that didn't go undetected by Kyuubi that day. As Kyuubi for the first time in Mito's seal awakened from the sense of that darkness, its eyes opened, red slit-like eyes, as a cruel smirk gained. Good. Darkness, consuming a pure soul. You really made a mistake, Minato. But I will enjoy this. Wish I could have some popcorn here, said Kyuubi before going back to sleep again. As Naruto then said, is that all? No. You are to be apprenticed by Jiraiya of the Sannin, alongside with Mito Uzumaki as well. As Naruto nodded, I will go and grab my stuff, Hokage-sama, Naruto said with a low voice as he left. After exiting the Hokage tower, he clenched his fist, gritted his teeth, but he couldn't do anything. It was an order, and his Gigi told him to always follow the order of the Kage. Otherwise, he will be treated as a nukenin. As bad as this was, it was true, sadly, and Naruto didn't want that to happen. As Naruto went home to pack his stuff, after packing everything that he owned, he looked towards back to his apartment that was his home for the past 8 years. As he sighed, I guess it's time to leave now, towards my prison. After that, he arrived at the Namikaze estate. As he knocked on the door, He was given a room that was in basement because the house contained only 4 rooms and one study room and one living room. So Naruto took it. It was quite ironic. They thought of him as a son but gave him a living placement that was even lower than his previous apartment. But he didn't say a word. He was being patient. And when he opened his bag, he found a notebook there. It was a book from his sensei. It said, "The Secrets of Taijutsu. How to become your peak self." Naruto opened it. It said 1000 push-ups, 1000 sit-ups, and 10 miles run across the village every day. Naruto thought it was bogus, but he knew his sensei was very serious regarding his training, so he accepted it. And it was quite fortunate that he found the library of Fuinjutsu in the basement as well. And when he requested that he could use them, Kushina allowed it. And time went by as he went on missions with his teacher, Jiraiya. Jiraiya wasn't sure why, but Naruto was quite silent now all of a sudden. From what his sensei had told him, he was quite a happy-go-lucky child and quite a kind kid. But he was cold and uncaring most of the time, and only replied with curt nods, and only spoke whenever required or needed to. Naruto has saved his life twice because of his carelessness already, while he was a Sanin, for God's sake, and he was a kid named Genin, newly. And him being saved by a Genin was quite embarrassing, so it was a secret between both of them. Naruto was getting strong meanwhile. His sensei's training regimen that he was specially made for him was getting quite beneficial for him. Naruto modified it. He increased it 100 folds, getting it up to 2000 everything and 20 miles run. Naruto did that everything when their parents were sleeping. And he was getting more muscular by the passing day. And whenever he was at the free time, away from his prison, it was a new name that he gave to his quote-unquote home. He would train. Try to find new ways, invent new ways of training to max out his physical strength. He picked up a wooden sphere that he created, finally craved out. He brought the design towards the Higurashi weapon shop. He wanted 100 copies of that. During his many missions with Jiraiya over the course of 2 years, he has gained enough money to buy his own weapons now, and he wanted them to be A-grade quality. Higurashi was quite surprised when he found out 100 spheres like this, and this design was quite unusual, never to be seen or heard in the whole elemental nations, not within even the blacksmiths. It was like a fantasy tool. It was a sphere made out of metal, and its top, it was curved into a bolt-like blade, which was quite sharp enough to cut even air. And the spear can be thrown up to 100 miles. Such lightweight spear, said Higurashi, but Naruto corrected him. He wanted it to be as heavy as it was possible. Higurashi was quite surprised by this. Naruto has also engraved weight seals, gravity seals upon his body, but he could move at Kage level speed even with 10 times the seals placed on his body now. He was getting more stronger, unknown to everyone. One thing that his TG has told him was, a shinobi's best weapon is this deception, and that was what he was displaying to everyone. He has reduced to meet his friends, even his precious people. He met them only in a given number of time. Hinata was quite saddened when she found out that Naruto was engaged with his sister, but he never wanted to marry her. It wasn't his intention. Mito, on the other hand, found Naruto's company quite peaceful. She was quite attached to Naruto suddenly, which was quite surprising for Naruto. He found it almost disturbing, but was quite surprised and find it more disturbing that his parents agreed to this. Mito was not right in the head. Maybe it was Kyubi that was playing her head. Naruto shook that thought away. Maybe she wasn't right in the head, or because of their parents' words, she was turned out like this. He didn't knew, but he wanted to get away from her. So, whenever she was around, he wasn't. Whenever she was having lunch, breakfast, or dinner with the family, he wasn't. He always arrived when she left, saying that he was sleeping or he was studying, that is why he was busy. On the other hand, his relationship with his parents were almost non-existent. They left him in the house thinking that their family was complete, and Naruto didn't bother with them as well. For 2 whole years, only given words were exchanged, nothing else. Naruto has turned completely cold. His kind-hearted demeanor was gone. Only one obsession was there, to get strong. So strong that no one was able to catch up to him. So strong that whenever his family, his wardens, tried to put him down, they will be the one getting hurt. And there was another reason. He wanted to protect his precious people. And one night when he was traveling, passing by the Yuga compound, he saw Hinata crying. He went towards her because she was his friend. Hinata, why are you crying? Hinata, after 3 whole years, saw Naruto. Naruto-kun? It's been a long time, Hinata. What's making you so sad? As Hinata latched onto him and cried. As both she and Naruto talked for the whole night, Naruto for some reason found it peaceful. He found peace with Hinata. Unknown to them, they were being washed or stalked by Mito. Mito gritted her teeth and grabbed a hold onto the tree so strong that the tree bark was broken. That was in the vicinity of her hand. That bitch! He's mine. He is mine. I will kill her. As on the other side, after 1 week of doing the same routine, Naruto went out to train. He will meet Hinata and they will talk for hours until it was time for the sunrise. This went on for a whole week until Naruto got the news that his weapons that he ordered from Higurashi were made. Naruto lifted up the spear and it was so heavy that he couldn't balance it. He smirked and opened the scroll and sealed each and every one of the spears inside of it and asked for 100 more. Higurashi looked at him as if he was crazy, but he paid the full price in advance. As when Naruto left, he unsealed one spear. He lifted it up in one hand and tried to swing it across in a clock-like motion, but he couldn't. He tried again and again, and for almost 1 year he did the same, until each and every one of his spear broke. As it was his 1000th spear that he held it in his hand, as he swung it with all his strength across the air, the spear didn't broke, but it cut it through the clouds and the air, opening a huge rip that even went as far as Sunagakure. Naruto smirked. Good. His strength has been maxed out in weapon wielding. He could, with a single swish of his sword, cut a huge tree like it was nothing. He could punch a tree out of its roots if he wanted to. He was that strong. And that was even without using his chakra. He has vowed that he will never use his chakra, never use inner gates. He will use only his physical strength, and strength alone. He didn't knew one thing, it has a downside. He was being monitored by his family, who were getting worried that he was getting too strong. And from the looks of it, he wanted to flee the village, as Jiraiya has described his sudden movements, and Ibiki described it as well, saying that all his movements that he was doing was of that shinobi that wanted to flee. And finally, a mission came. A mission in which Sasuke Uchiha has defected. And he even was called alongside his sister. As they all went under Shikamaru's guidance, Naruto was the only one at free hands that went after him. Shikamaru told him, "Break him, Naruto, if you want to, but bring him back alive. They want him alive." Naruto nodded and left. "You don't have to worry about that, Shikamaru." Naruto arrived at the Valley of the End. Ah, the dope has finally arrived. Tired hiding under your mom's skirt? Naruto gritted his teeth. You know what? They want you alive, but they don't care how. Naruto gained a dark look on his face that even Sasuke felt a chill run down his spine. As Naruto did a hand seal as his body glowed. Good, now my seals are removed. You better be on your peak strength, Uchiha. As Sasuke turned into the second curse mark stage and charged at Naruto with a black onyx Chidori. Naruto grabbed it with his right hand and crushed Sasuke's hand as Sasuke's scream filled the forest. As Naruto, with a single punch, threw him across Madara's statue, digging a deep hole between the stone wall that was behind the statue. There was a huge hole in Madara's stone stomach, as many bones in Sasuke's body were broken. They were being healed by the curse mark as Naruto appeared in front of him and kicked him inside the ribs as his ribs stabbed his lung, which was punctured now. As Sasuke, for the first time after Itachi and the whole incident, felt fear. Please, please leave me alone. I surrender. No, Uchiha, you made the wrong. No, you choose the wrong words to speak to me. I'm not the same kid that I was back then. Now I'm going to show you what happens when you lump me up with them. As Naruto punched Sasuke again and again and again until he was nothing but a broken puppet who was flinching on the ground while crying out tears as he was saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'll be good, over and over again in his pain. As Naruto felt a presence behind him, it was Jiraiya. Naruto, you didn't have to do him like that. As Naruto threw his head bent down, I'm done with Konoha. I'm leaving. As Naruto vanished at blinding speeds that even Jiraiya couldn't catch him on. Naruto was gone then. As Jiraiya picked Sasuke up and left back, as the other Genins had been captured from Orochimaru's village. As we see Sasuke in hospital room, while the council heads and many of the clan heads were there alongside Naruto's parents and Hiruzen as well. He told me he was a nice kid, but how could he do this to his own comrade? Said Minato. Was I wrong? As many of the clan heads gritted their teeth alongside the elders as they glared at Minato. You call this his fault? You are the one who caused him to change so much. It was because of you two he changed so much. We have seen that kid grow up. He was the nicest kid we all knew. And Mabuki can even agree to that. Isn't that right, Mabuki-san? Yes, it is. He was the nicest kid. I can't believe he did that. I just still can't believe he did all this. We have to. We broke him. We broke him so badly that he became emotionless. He was full of hatred. You know, your prophecy might come true, Minato. Congratulations. And it's all because of you. As Minato's eyes widened, what do you mean? A great catastrophe will befall on Konoha, right? You just made that great catastrophe happen. Beware, Naruto has reached the peak form of human physical strength. What do you mean? Danzo said. He doesn't use any ninjutsu, nor chakra. He trains only physically. He's strong enough to do that to the Uchiha alone with physical strength. As everyone stood there, shocked, shell-shocked, that Naruto did this to the Uchiha here without using any chakra at all. This was the peak of human strength in front of them. As time passed, Naruto heard about an organization known as the Akatsuki, an organization that took many Bijus and Jinchurikis from the village, and only the dead bodies of the Jinchurikis were retained by the villagers, and the Bijus was extracted. Only 2 Bijus remained, the 8 tails and the 9 tails. On the other hand, Naruto was training currently. He had become so strong that with a single punch he could level a mountain now. pure physical brute strength. If he wanted to, he could split seas in half with one axe kick. He could rip open the sky he wanted to. He has become the ultimate taijutsu master that his sensei wanted him to be. As he was meditating at far east side of Kumo, outside the village on a mountain, he heard footsteps. His senses has increased tenfold. He looked back to see it was his friends, Shikamaru Nara, a grown-up Jonin, Sakura Haruno, and Sasuke Uchiha as well, who stood back, and many of his other friends, Hinata Hyuga, Kiba, and Joji Akamichi. And Shino was there as well. Naruto-kun, Hinata. As Naruto stood, everyone was surprised Naruto was taller than them. He was 6 feet tall. He was muscular now. As many of the girls who were there, Ino, Sakura, and Hinata blushed badly, and even Mito as well, who was drooling practically. Nissan, we want you back. My life is in danger. I need your protection. But why do you need my protection? You are strong enough to protect yourself, Naruto said in a calm voice. Naruto-kun, shut up, you hussy! As Naruto glared at Mito. Don't you dare call her that. She's a precious person to me, Naruto said with a blush as he looked away. Mito was enraged. She wanted to pull her hair. She dragged out a kunai and dashed towards Hinata. Hinata eyes widened. Mito was her friend, and why was she doing that? As Naruto was there in a blink of an eye, as Hinata's eyes closed for inevitable, but the slash never came. Naruto stopped the kunai with bare hand, as Naruto crushed the kunai, breaking it into bits. I told you she was my precious person. Why are you doing this? That hussy is between me and you, Nissan. Don't you get it? We are engaged. You're supposed to be mine and mine alone. Their friends were shocked. Aside from Hinata, nobody else knew. As Hinata stood there, even it was decided by your parents. Our parents, Nissan. Our parents. No matter how hard you try to deny that, no matter how hard you hate them, at the end of the day, they are your parents. They are the one who brought you into this world. They are our parents. They are nothing but my progeny and progner. I was brought into this world by them, but they are not my family, nor are you, Mito. I thought of giving you a chance over the years, but your action has proven me that you haven't changed. You're still the obsessed, brainless, and nothing but a arrogant girl in my eyes that you were at the day I met you. As Mito gritted her teeth, as Shikamaru then said, before the things could escalate, Naruto, we need your help, man. Stop being a drag and come back, please. What a drag, Shikamaru. Oi, that's my line. Really? You're still the same, you lazy fucker. Same could be said about you, troublesome blonde. Oi, Kiba, is that Akamaru? Naruto said, getting a little bit friendlier. Naruto has become more friendlier and mellow guy during the course of training or meditation over the years. He has finally let go of his hatred that was consuming him. And on the other side, Mito has made peace with Kyuubi. He has let go of his hatred. Interesting. A fine specimen indeed. Mito. What is it, Kurama? This man is the perfect mate for both of us. You must get him, obtain him. He has overcome his hatred. I know. He's ours. He will be mine, said both of them in unison as one of Mito's eye turned red with a slit. As they looked at Naruto talking to Kiba while he patted Akamaru. Fine, I'll help you guys. Let's go back. As Naruto went towards Hinata and picked her up bridal style. Won't you come with me like this, my princess? What? Hinata, I know this is out of blue, but I love you. as Hinata, without saying anything, kissed him back. Mito looked like she wanted to murder someone, and Naruto was doing this willingly and wanted to see her reaction. Naruto was happy that he had finally involved with a woman that he loved over the course of years. As Mito was enraged but kept quiet, thanks to Kyubi, who was keeping her under control, they gained many opportunities to kill that hussy, Hinata Yuga, that bimbo bitch that gained their fine specimen, their mate, before them. But whenever they tried, some force field protected her. Energy protected her, demanding authority even from Kyubi. Kyubi knew who it was. It was her mate, her future mate. It was Naruto, Naruto Uzumaki. As when Naruto and his team returned back to Konoha, Naruto stood there. As the team went inside, "Naruto, come in or what?" said Shikamaru. As the Eternal Guard gates, Izuman Kotetsu's jaw dropped. "Is that the same chibi kid that went away?" Naruto looked at them. "I'm not that chibi anymore, you know. I'm more taller than you all." As they cursed their luck because of his genes as Naruto went inside. Naruto, for his part, was wearing a tattered orange jacket with a black undershirt and an orange long shorts with black shinobi sandals, and wore a black band across his forehead, imitating that he was from no village. As he went inside, many of the women, even the older ladies, were looking at him with blushes because his chest was evident and his muscles were quite practically naked in front of them and were quite eye candy for them. Naruto just sighed as Hinata was glaring at them all with her Byakugan activated, and Mito was looking out at them as if she was looking at a prey. As Naruto finally entered the council chamber, as he entered there, many were shocked. Even Tizunmi had to hold her blush back. "Wow, talk about a glow up," she said. "Tizunmi, that's my son," said Kushina. "What the fuck?" "I mean, yeah, he's hot. What else do you want me to say? I'm a woman who hasn't got a dick for almost 13 to 14 years. Mom, I'm here." "What the hell?" Kiba, I'm sorry, I didn't... No, man, it's my mom being weird again. Are you in your heat season again?" "What if I am? What you gonna do about it, punk?" Nothing, ma'am." "That's more like it." "No, after this is over, why don't you and I go on a date?" Ma'am, I'm already in a relationship." "Who cares? I mean, you're the last male of both Uzumaki and Namikaze clan. You can have as many women as you want on your knees." As Mito and Kyubi then got an idea, they had to share him. Reluctantly, but they will get him nonetheless. "Good idea. Mom, Dad, put that in motion. He will be under CRA." "What the fuck? I didn't join the village. I came here to help because my precious people live here. And my father-in-law lives here." "Oi, who said I'm your father-in-law?" said Hiyashi Yuga as his eyebrow twitched. "Is it too soon?" "Too soon! 100 years too soon." "Dad, I love him. I'm going to marry him, and there's nothing you can do about it." "Fine, but you have to prove your worth to me, kid." "Okay. Now, we get to the main topic here. Why did you call me hero, Kage-sama?" Naruto said in a calm tone, as many were quite surprised that he will hate Minato. "Well, we want your help against the Akatsuki. Where's the base? Just tell me and it will be done. You don't have to worry about them." "In Amegakure," said Jiraiya. "I'm planning on going there tonight, Gaki. And I want you to come with me." "Done. Here, I think this belongs to you." Jiraiya threw a headband at Naruto as Naruto caught it. "No, it doesn't. It was, but now it's not. I willingly let go. I broke the trust of my precious people by abandoning them, turning my back on them, embracing my hatred at the time. I was wrong at the time. But now I don't think I'm worthy of wearing it." "You are, Naruto," said none other than Hiruzen Sarutobi. He was much older Then Naruto has seen him. Gigi? Is that you? My boy, you have grown wonderfully. As Naruto chuckled, I guess you're right. But you were cold, what happened? I meditated, fought my inner demons, and finally overcame them, made peace with them. And I got my old self back. A part of it, at least. Enough chit chat, kid, let's go. We have a mission in front of us, said Jiraiya. As Naruto nodded. See you later, GD. As both of them left, at high speeds towards Omegakure. As whenever they entered, they were detected as Akatsuki surrounded them. Naruto Uzumaki, why are you here? And why are you here, Jiraiya-sensei? We're here to take you down, Akatsuki. What do you mean, Jiraiya-sensei? How do you know me? Wow, you forgot about us already. It's me, Nagato, Konan. Astra's eyes widened, but they're dead. I made sure of that. He paused as he looked towards Naruto. It was your plan, huh? Hey, tell you what, let's kill this bastard, Naruto said, as Naruto punched Jiraiya in the middle of his ribcage, puncturing both of his lungs. Jiraiya was having a hard time breathing, as Naruto put a foot on his neck and put both of his hands on his knees and pulled on them, pulling his backbone from within his body, killing him in a gruesome manner. He fell against you in battle. Now, I want to ask you one question. Why are you doing this, Nagato? For world peace. This is no way to achieve peace. There never is. Peace must be achieved at any consequence, even at the dead bodies of hundreds. What you're going to do is cause death to many, and I'm afraid I cannot let that happen. As Naruto charged at blinding speeds at them, disabling all and every part of the pain. As Naruto turned towards Konan, who was flying away, as Naruto jumped high in the air and punched her straight towards the base, as it was a giant tower, and in the basement was the Akatsuki's base. As Konan landed on the table, her breath stopped. As Naruto landed there, as he looked around him, there were many Akatsuki members there: Kakuzu, Hidan, Sasori, Deidara, Kisame, Itachi, and Nagato himself. As Naruto one by one butchered each and every one of them with his bare fists in gruesome manner. As then, after everyone died, Naruto heard a clapping sound. It was none other than Obito Uchiha. You did quite a number on them. I will take that you have become quite strong, but this strong? I didn't even imagine. You are indeed a threat, Naruto Uzumaki, a threat that has to be taken down. And even my sensei has saw that, his own son becoming a threat to his ambitions, to making Konoha prosper. What do you mean? It was your father. It was your father all along whose idea was this, to leave you behind. Jiraiya and your father were compliances in this plan. Do you think I will believe that word? How about we try it? Naruto got a three-pronged kunai from back and dropped it on the ground. There's Minato flashed there. What is going on? Where's Jiraiya-sensei? He was the one who conspired everything, changed prophecy. He wanted to kill me, just like he wanted to kill his other three students that I killed. Naruto, you killed Jiraiya-sensei? Yes, I did. But why? Because, my dear sensei, said Obito as he dropped his mask. Obito. Naruto stood there, stoic face. He was the one who changed the prophecy in course of his own favor. He was the one who controlled you your whole life. From the time when we became your students, up until you became the Kage and a father. All your life you have been controlled by him, every step. Whenever you went there to get his opinion, he manipulated you. He wanted to leech off of you. And I saw that. I couldn't take it. When I tried to confront him, he was the one who put that boulder on me. He was the one who put Rin in such a situation that she had to die. It was because of him And your son took my opportunity away to destroy everything he loved, cared about, in front of his eyes. And for that, I cannot forgive him. He has to die today, one way or another. As before he could speak, Naruto's hand was shoved straight through his chest. Obito's heart was pumping in Naruto's hand as Naruto was facing him. You talk too much. As he shoved his hand out, as Obito grasped for air and died. As Zetsu tried to escape, but Naruto picked him up and squashed his head under his palm as black liquid left Zetsu's body, killing him as well. And Naruto turned towards his father. What are you going to do now? Hokage-sama, for what you did was good. Jiraiya was a traitor. He has manipulated many people. Many innocent people that died. I was one of his victims, Naruto. I'm sorry. It's alright. I will not forget what you did, but I will forgive you all. But don't think that makes us family. We are still strangers. Have been all my life and will remain all my life. If anything, we can start as friends. That's all. And one thing more. Get Mito off my back. I'm sorry, but Jiraiya's corrupted her beyond repair. She worships you now. What? Yes, I saw her. She worships you. She has a shrine in her room that I and Kushina found out. We were disturbed by it. But there's nothing we can do. Our sweet daughter was turned into a sociopath by him, as there was a red flash, and it was Mito standing there. To-chan, you spotted out my biggest secret. How could you? Mito, calm down, Naruto said. As Mito squealed, you finally said my name, Naruto-kun. You finally said my name. Other than disgust, as she lashed onto Naruto's arm. Now we can be forever together. Just like we meant to be. As Naruto sighed. Fine. I'll agree to be in CRA. I agree to marry you. But you have to change your ways. Okay? I promise. And time passed. And Naruto gained 3 brides. Surprisingly, the head of the Inuzuka clan, Tsuzumi Inuzuka, and his sister Mito and Hinata Yuga. Kiba was quite surprised to find that his brother and comrade turned into his stepfather, while Hana was quite surprised that her mother bagged such a alpha male dog, and many of the clansmen agreed to that. Naruto single-handedly destroyed Jiraiya, the traitor, and not only that, many of the Akatsuki members single-handedly, without the usage of even chakra. That was surprising. As Naruto then finally met Guy and Lee, after many years, who were away on a mission with their team Tenten and none other than Yuga Neji. As Naruto stood in front of them in their training field. Ah, Yosh! Naruto-kun, you're here! Lee hugged him. Still the same as ever, huh, Lee? Never changing, Naruto. Never change. It's good to see that your flames of youth have grown back. Great. Another one? Oh, it's not that bad, Tenten-chan. It's just that they can be quiet. Yes, I know. A bit of headache. So you're Naruto, the most prized student of our sensei. I wouldn't go there, but yeah, I am the student of your sensei. Care to have a taijutsu match? How about you all 3 go on me? As Lee entered the 7th gate state, as Neji entered the Byakugan state, the trigram 64 palms state, while Tenten unlocked her weapons. For 1 hour they sparred as the 3 of them were now bending heavily on the floor, while Naruto hardly broke a sweat. Whoa, you turned quite strong, Naruto-kun. Yosh, I will run around 1,000 laps. Whoa, Lee, calm down. Just follow the regimen that our sensei gave us, and modify it to your own need. Yes, Lee, that was a test that I put both you and Naruto on. You unfortunately couldn't catch up to it, but Naruto did, and even peaked out and maxed out the physical strength human body can achieve. So what can you do other than that? As Naruto smirked and pulled out a spear that was made by Higurashi, her father. Is that the spear that my father created? The most heaviest thing that I can't even lift? Even with using chakra? No. Well, yeah. But I applied some chakra seals on it so it couldn't be destroyed no matter how pressure was applied on it and can be 10 times heavier. As Naruto swinged it clockwise towards the air, as a huge slash of wind was thrown as it cut it open, the clouds in the sky with a huge rip and shredded many trees up to 80 to 90 kilometers. As the three Genin's jaws dropped, as Guy nodded, "Yosh, you have surpassed me, Naruto. I would have gone all out 8 gates against you if it wasn't for the consequences. To see how strong have you come, but it seems that your strength is immeasurable now." On the other side, Sasuke was watching this as he pissed his pants, shaking legs, his trauma coming back to him with full force. "Please forgive me. I I'm a good boy. I changed." As Sakura was watching this from the shadows alongside Sai, as Sakura hugged him. "It's alright, Sasuke-kun. He's not going to hurt you anymore. He's not going to hurt you." Sakura was surprised as well. Sai's strength. Is this how a human would look if he achieved physical strength beyond any remarkable level? It even made Tsunade-sama's punches look like child's play. And many of the claners and shinobis were watching this from Hiruzen Sarutobi's globe as everyone was seeing this. "Marvelous. Such strength," said Hamura. "This is the peak level of a human capabilities." "No, this is the peak level of a god," said Hiyashi Yuga. "I'm proud that my daughter chose a strong and perfect man." "And you talk about my choices. You all look like pussies in front of him," said Tazumi. As Kushina was heartbroken that Naruto didn't call her mother, but he had to call her mother other way, like mother-in-law. And she was happy about that, and so was Minato. As for Jiraiya, his legacy was forever ruined, never to be recognized, erased from the pages of the history for the years to come. The next generation will remember only two Sanins, Tsunade and the traitor Orochimaru. As for Jiraiya, nothing was left. Even his Icha were erased. As this is where I'm going to be leaving the story of, guys. I hope you like this one, and if you do, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, as this is Apollo Uchiha and I'm signing out. Peace.